The coronavirus claimed its first major events in Chicago's civic life Wednesday, as Mayor Lori Lightfoot canceled the city's massive St. Patrick's Day parades for this weekend because of fears the disease would spread through the dense crowds.
The mayor made her decision after days of speculation as other cities from Boston to Dublin dropped their festivities for the holiday. Lightfoot called off Saturday's downtown parade and Sunday's South Side Irish parade just days before they were set to step off. She also cancelled a smaller Northwest Side parade.
This was not an easy decision and we don't take it lightly, Lightfoot said at a morning news conference with Gov. J.B. Pritzker and other officials announcing the decision.
The mayor's last-minute move to shut down the parades reflects the difficulty of the call. The St. Patrick's Day revelry, featuring the famous dyeing of the Chicago River green on the morning of the downtown parade, which she also canceled, is a huge boon to Chicago hotels, restaurants and bars as people stream into the city from throughout the Midwest.
Lightfoot said officials would work to reschedule the parades at a later date.
The local tourism industry is already reeling from the recent cancellations of several big trade shows at McCormick Place, and the St. Patrick's Day events draw tens of thousands of spectators.
Though the parades are the largest, highest-profile public march events in the city, residents are constantly in proximity to one another, and that will continue. Lightfoot's remarks Wednesday made it clear curtailing such contact would be extremely tough.
Lightfoot said her administration has been in contact with organizers of the Shamrock Shuffle 8K race, set to take place on March 22 this year. We haven't made a determination one way or the other yet, but clearly that's on our radar screen, and we'll continue discussions with them, she said.
As for bars and restaurants that fill with revelers in the lead up to St. Patrick's Day, the mayor said she can't close everything.
Look, the reality is, we're not shutting down the entire city and state, but we want people to be smart and exercise common sense, Lightfoot said.
Sign up for The Spin to get the top stories in politics delivered to your inbox weekday afternoons.
And commuters on jam-packed CTA buses and trains will continue to breathe in each other's faces and touch various communal surfaces.
We're not giving that guidance regarding mass transit at this point, Lightfoot said. The CTA in particular, and I believe the other mass transit here in the northern part of the state, have been taking a lot of precautions, extra cleaning of buses, trains, platforms, making other self-cleaning fluids available. We don't believe that's necessary.
Professional sports games will continue as usual, at least for the time being.
The mayor said she spoke Wednesday with all the major sports teams in Chicago. With opening day games coming up for the Cubs and White Sox, Lightfoot said she's talking to team officials, but they're not there yet on restricting access, even as soccer games in Italy are being held in empty stadiums because of the virus.
We're mindful of the fact that the Fire home opener is on March 21, and that opening day for the two sports teams, obviously the Blackhawks and the Bulls, are playing, Lightfoot said. This is something that we are in conversation with them about. And we're looking, and as the situation evolves we will be continuing those discussions on an ongoing basis. But we're not there yet.
On Wednesday, San Francisco's mayor banned all gatherings of more than 1,000 people in the city, including Golden State Warriors NBA games. And in Washington state, Gov. Jay Inslee banned public gatherings of more than 250 people, including Seattle Mariners baseball games.
Though she hasn't enacted such stricter meeting bans, Lightfoot had to know she would be judged harshly if Chicago got hit especially hard by the COVID-19 virus and the outbreak was traced back to the decision to go ahead with the parades. Health officials have been warning for weeks that the best way to avoid contracting the respiratory ailment is to avoid close contact with people who are infected.
Like cities across the nation, we concluded that having a parade at this time posed an unnecessary risk to the public's health, she said.
Downtown Ald. Brendan Riley, 42nd, noted how hard it was to scrap the events.
It was a very difficult call for the mayor, Riley said Wednesday. Nobody is more sensitive to the concerns of the downtown business community than I am, so this is very disappointing. But, as the son of a public health doctor who ran county hospital, I can say this is 100% the right call.
And Southwest Side Ald. Matt O'Shea, 19th, also came out in favor of the move. At times like this, it's absolutely imperative that we rely on the expertise of our medical professionals, and we are in good hands, O'Shea said.
Pritzker said he supported the decision as officials were trying to minimize the rampant spread of COVID-19.
This is not a decision that she took lightly, and we all know what the St. Patrick's Day celebrations mean to the city of Chicago, Pritzker said. Because of what we've seen nationally, and across the world, of the increased risk of large gatherings, this was the right call.
With the mayor out of town on vacation, Pritzker on Tuesday questioned whether Chicago's parades should happen this weekend, even as event organizers and city officials said the celebrations would go on as planned.
There's a precedent for a public spectacle causing serious public fallout during an outbreak.
In 1918, Philadelphia went ahead with a parade meant to drum up support for the sale of bonds to fund the U.S. effort in World War I, despite concerns about the burgeoning Spanish flu. Philadelphia then saw particularly high flu rates, and the decision to hold the parade has been blamed by historians.
Jebern at ChicagoTribune.com.
Twitter at _John Byrne.